Alright, Rockers, Turbo here with you inside the Asylum. And, we all know sometimes bands start making names for themselves and things happen and things change and then they come back with a brand new band and it works out for the better. Well, that case has happened with my next guests, Nevada and Larado Romo. You guys might remember them from Anti-Mortem. They have a new band called Cosmic Woe, and they're joining me right now here inside the Asylum. Laredo, Nevada, how are you guys?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Thank you guys for taking the time out to join me tonight here inside the Asylum. I greatly appreciate it.
Oh man, we're super happy for you to have us. We appreciate it.
Glad to have you guys as always. Now, I guess really where we need to start is to go back a little bit and kind of fill everyone in on what happened with Anti-Mortem. Nevada, you and I first spoke and met when you guys were really making a lot of big noise with Anti-Mortem, and it seems just as fast as you guys came up is as fast as you guys unfortunately disappeared. And for those wondering what happened to Anti-Mortem, why don't you guys fill everyone in on what went down and the result of Anti-Mortem going quiet?
Dad, do you want to start? You want me to start?
I'll take that one, I guess. We are a lot of different individuals, I would say, that have a lot of different influences, and I would just, I guess, say due to differences amongst ourselves creatively and business-wise, we just kind of decided and felt that it would be best for us to go separate ways, and so that's what we did. And Zane's got another project called Locust Grove, Levi's and Everybody Panic, and we've got Cosmic Wool going, and I would say that everybody's really happy and they're pursuing their, the respective genres that they wanted to pursue.
It's just kind of like you know somebody.
Hold on, Laredo, I'm barely getting you, bro.
You what?
Barely can hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time hearing him too.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
There we go.
All right, cool. Well, anyway, yeah, I was just saying though that after you get to know somebody for a while, you really get to know them after you've known people for a long time, and it's not just a few years of knowing somebody. We had known each other for a very, very long time and really got to truly know our differences, I'd say. And when you work for something for so long, greed and money definitely getting a whole lot of the way of with us. It definitely really corrupted what we had that was going on for us, I would say. And I'd say more than anything, just to be totally blatant about it, that's what I really got fed up with, is that feeling like that I didn't have friends really with the people I was supposed to be relying on the most. And so we after building that for so long and working so freaking hard at trying to get that somewhere, and then feeling like it in the end that we really didn't have a say in it, that we were just like, dude, you know what, we just started and we basically just got our name out of here. A lot of people didn't know this, but we were a band for 10 years before we even got almost 10 years before we even got signed to Nuclear Blast. So we had a lot going on for a long time, being in the unsigned world. And so people only know one record history of Anti-Mortem, but it was like it's countless years that we put into that, and just so people could say that we just, of course, showed up and then disappeared, which to the whole world that is what happened. But there was definitely years and years and years of just I guess struggle. Struggle. I don't want to say fights in between us, but that's what I'm saying, is that there was definitely, don't think that it was just a year and a half and then all of a sudden we couldn't take each other. It was, it was 10 years of, more than 10 years almost, of being with one another and really, just changing, becoming different people, like Nevada was saying in the first place. And I think that we were all really trying to do something that was super unhealthy for us, and we just felt like we needed to at that point. So we, that's why we didn't do it.
What was it hard for you guys to, to sit there and go, you know what, we're better off just all stepping away? I mean, because, as you said, you guys were doing it for 10 years prior to signing. And granted, I didn't know you guys prior to when you guys got signed and started making noise and getting on all the festivals and doing all the touring. But how it been hard for you guys to have all that time put into it, finally get to that level, and then realize, you know what, not everyone's on the same page?
Oh, dude, it sucked. It sucked ass, man. It's like, damn. Go ahead, Betta.
Oh, it's just, I mean, I remember, I feel like everybody kind of knew that, like, for like a year before the band broke up. And, like, we all kind of had these, like, little grumblings amongst each other. And so, I mean, me personally, I was kind of expecting it. But, at the same time, it's like, I feel with, like, this Cosmic Wolf stuff, it's like, within a year, we've gotten a lot of really amazing opportunities for us. And we're, every band kind of goes through a building phase and kind of, you get to your phase where you kind of, it's like a fruit and you pick it and it's ripe. And I feel like with Anti-Mortem, everybody got to see a really awesome apple tree kind of get, come to fruition. And it was really beautiful for what it was. But I feel like at this point in our career now, we're kind of in a growing phase again. And, as tough as it is to be in a growing phase, I can't tell you what a breath of fresh air it is to kind of, to put some new music together and participate in a new genre that's got so much life in it and so young. So, I mean, for me personally, it was really tough decision to make, but I can say that, the longer it's been, it's been 2 years now since New Southern came out, and in 2 years the industry has changed so much. I can't even begin to articulate it, but I can say that I do feel that with that decision being made, that I really think we moved into a place that was good for us and a place that's been really productive for us. So I can say that I'm super happy with it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of that, it's such a weird state of being. I've seen other bands go through it, all those years together, and everyone gets so tight, and it's all that time, and you don't think you're going to make it. And then when you do make it, it's kind of like that scenario of, well, now that we're here, what do we do with it? How do we handle it? And, it's also the old story of when the money is there, you find out who's really in it for the music and who's in it for the almighty dollar at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's very true.
As Biggie says, the more money you come across, the more problems you see.
yeah, right. Well,
so I guess really then from there would be, how did you guys know after everything was said and done with Anti-Mortem, how did you guys know that you guys wanted to continue on making music? Because so many people, with the way the industry is now and even the way the industry was 2 years ago, a lot of people would have just walked away and said, look, it was a good 10-year run, we almost got there, and it's time to move on. What made you guys decide, what, this is still what we want to do? What was it?
Well, I mean, really, it's the same thing that made us do it for the first 10 years in the first place. You know what I mean? It's just like, even if the band being gone, we're still the same talented people that were in the band. And so it's kind of like, I feel like I'd be discrediting myself to just give up on music, It's like, and the thing about the idea of making it anyway, it's like, once you make it, you realize that there's really not that big of a difference between making it and not making it. The only difference is that there's like one guy that wants to give you some money to help you make it, if that makes sense, And so it's really just like, it's your choice to either be done or not. When are you going to just say, okay, well, I guess that I'm just going to give up music today because nobody likes me making it, and it's like, really, if that's the case, it's like, well, I guess give up music. I got to say, something I really learned about myself from quitting Anti-Mortem is how much I really appreciated people giving me affirmation for making music. But it makes you a stronger person when you have to, it's like the old days when we first started making music when no one gave a shit, and it's like, no offense to anybody that still likes us now, I'm not talking about them, but, when we got done with Anti-Mortem, basically it's like, we were the band. Now that the band's gone, like, we were so young, so many people didn't really care, we just dropped off the face of the planet to most people, and they don't give a shit what we're doing. But, there's so many people that do still care about it. But all I'm saying is that you really start to learn how much affirmation, you get from people, and you have to give yourself too. And that's the biggest part of making music, really, is that it's like a duality of being like, hey man, you gotta feel affirmed in your own, or there's no reason to be making the music, because with how little, with how hard it is in the music industry, you're going to fall to pieces before you even get any affirmation if you can't give yourself some, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I can say for me too, like it was a very, this last 2 years, I would say probably were the most like, it was the oven of our career, if that makes sense. At least it feels that way, because, we've been put through a lot of pressure and stress and a lot of different situations that, without the Anti-Mortem break, I don't think we would have had. But at the same time, it's really caused us to really reevaluate why we're doing this, how we're doing this. And I feel now like a very much more sound, competent musician than I was before. And not to mention too, like I said, I feel like where we were, I feel like I'm too young to be in a genre that's kind of where the point where it was, at least when we were in. I love metal to death, but a lot of the bands we were playing with were 10, 15 years older than us, and were the ones that created those genres. And I feel like some responsibility to do the same thing that they did, and have a genre that we're responsible for. And I really felt like, with Cosmic Wool, I feel like it's different for me. It's a pretty different thing, and I really enjoy it. Whereas with Anti-Mortem, I felt like we were, kind of at the end of this thing where it was like we could keep doing this and keep going with these bands, or we could, start over, see what's new, and listen to what the kids are listening to. And that's really, for me, it's like I felt like Rush. There's a documentary I watched Rush saying the same thing at the end of the 70s about not knowing how to move into the 80s, and that's kind of what I feel like we got put in. It's either we could have transitioned, or we could have just kept doing the same thing,
Yeah, because we are in, as you said, that transitional period. And when I first got the Cosmic Wolf stuff from you and Nevada, you sent it over to me, and I opened it up, and I'm like, okay, I have no idea what it was going to sound like, because I knew it was long enough in between Anti-Mortem and writing for Cosmic World that it might be different, and I knew you guys wouldn't want to come out with like an Anti-Mortem version 2.0, and
right, yeah, we didn't.
so when I pressed play on the first track, which is Nina Cherry, if I have my track names correct, I was really blown away, because here it is. It's that old school bluesy hard rock style that is, it was there in Anti-Mortem. It was hinted at in Anti-Mortem, and yet now it seems like you guys have found that style that you really wanted to gravitate to, but were kind of pigeonholed into being more metal with Anti-Mortem, and now you can be more of what you're comfortable with.
That's hitting the nail on the head for sure. When you get signed to a label like Nuclear Blast, I can't say that they didn't do anything other than amazingness for our career, but at the same time, we kind of got put into this bubble that was like, this is you, this is how you are, and I can't say with us,
not to cut off Nevada, but just to interject in there real fast, though, is that, they did do stuff other than amazingness for our career, though, honestly, in my opinion. They're good guys, but at the same time, that was a big part of why we felt so helpless there at the end, was, we felt like we weren't being represented very well, and so, anyway, continue with what you're saying, but I just wanted to say that, because that's what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, no, that is for sure. But just, what you get, like you said, you kind of get pigeonholed into something like that, where it's like this really good thing if you don't like everything about this really good thing, it's not going to be a good thing for you. You know what I mean? If you have any problems with it, you better keep it to yourself. And that's kind of where, I mean, like I said, it's like a train that you can't like stop, and it's either you burn the train down and throw something in the middle of the road or whatever, or you just keep riding it. And for us, I mean, you know, like you said, this sound for me is where we were going, and I feel like it was really necessary for this to happen. So, you know, like I said, I'm really happy. I'm glad you dig the tunes, man. That what you said about Nina Cherry is exactly what we were going for. That song really, that was like one of the first songs we had put together, and so for that EP to come out and start with that, it meant a lot for all of us, I think.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, one thing I got to add to that though is that just the whole metal aspect of it, we were really cool with that as kids, and that's what we were really wanting to be, and we really wanted to be bands like that, and I really felt that way, you know. And then as we gotten older, in a sense, it's like I have like I feel like we have more I don't know, just more sensibilities that are more in line with Cosmic Wool, and we have more of a, it's not so much that, I don't know, we wanted to be guys like Metallica and Mudvayne and Pantera and stuff like that when we were younger, and I feel like that we grew up to become, that kind of thing. And then, but once we got there, we had we're just not those people, and so I feel like our music nowadays is totally more, that's, you can't, it's like that's an empty thing to sit there and do, to try to, to be a way that you're not, just makes no sense to me. And so, we're definitely, I'm not saying that I'm not ever angry anymore. I'm not ever, feel like what, Anti-Mortem music was. But what I'm saying is I also feel a whole lot of other ways that weren't represented in that. And I felt, and I feel like the Cosmic Wool that, who knows, maybe one day we'd make something heavy or something with that, but we're definitely not like, I'm not concerned of trying to make the most, angry or heavy thing anymore. We're kind of just wanting to chill, and have a good time with our music and just have people, moving to the music and grooving, and not so much having to thrash the person next to them.
Not that is still not a fun thing to go do, believe me. I mean, that is still cool. It's just, for us, I think we wanted to try a few other things,
Yeah, no,
definitely.
I totally get that, because I mean, I don't know how much older than I am from you guys. I'm like we're on the same age. I'm 36. And I remember in high school, I was all about Metallica and Green Day and POD.
Yeah.
The bands that were big at the time. And if you turned me on to a band like Rush or a band like Dream Theater back in the day, I'd look at you sideways and go, well, what is this? But at the same time,
right?
Here it is years later, and I'm listening to bands of every genre, whether it's progressive, old school side sounding, death metal, melodic, because I think what it is for those of us in the rock and metal world is that we find that one genre that drags us into it, and as we grow, we're able to hear other aspects of it, and as a result we're able to go into different directions with it.
Oh, that was very
beautiful words, dude. You hit the nail on the head, man.
Again, totally. That's exactly right. And I feel like a big part of our sound as we got older, we started to really, really get away from certain parts of us that made us metal, especially me in Nevada. And so we really just started to get more into, listening to the vinyls, we were way into, towards the end of Anti-Mortem, that's what we were all about, was looking at all the, finding the coolest vinyl we could find, and, check that out and see what that's about, and anyway,
it felt like it was time for music to be reevaluated again. Like we had to go look at the way they made it 50 years ago to have any kind of heading on where things were going to go, because things are just not that things are in such chaos right now. It's just that in a time like this when so much has happened, where do you go? Where do you go?
Yeah, for ourselves, in a sense, it's like we were almost we weren't in chaos when we were in Anti-Mortem by any means, because we felt like we were being successful, but at the same time we were feeling like that we were kind of boxing ourselves in to a genre that we didn't have to box ourselves into, because this isn't even really we made a conscious decision when we were kids to play metal music because that's what was popular and we loved it. And we said when we played our other music, it just people didn't react to it because not everyone had the same musical taste as us. This is a conversation Anti-Mortem had when I was probably 15 years old at that, and we all said to one another, we were playing the Bricktown Ballroom in Oklahoma City that we used to play all the time, and anyway, and we would play a whole, I'll use this word here, like a cornucopia of different types of rock oriented music, and we would also go all the way from it would be stuff from all I guess it was almost Pearl Jam sounding music to even softer than that, all the way to what we played in when everybody started to know Anti-Mortem, what was really heavy. And we made the OKC was such a metal scene that when we would play the other stuff that wasn't really heavy, didn't have some sort of attack to it, people just kind of would just not really get into us. They would just kind of stand there because it wasn't the crowd. And so really we kind of even shaped our band sound off of what was going to help at the time get us bigger. We loved the music, but we weren't just set out when we started to become a southern hardcore metal band, and that's what we made the decision of, though, because we realized that's what was popular, the most popular in our area, and we still liked it, but it's just so that's really
those influences of.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, we couldn't deny those other. We couldn't deny those other influences. I think if we were rooted in, to get back to that question.
Yeah,
right.
Sorry, that was total sidebar, but yeah.
Yeah,
I just wanted to emphasize that. See, at first we really did make other types of music anyway, so we really just came back around, and I guess really just refound ourselves is what happened.
well, you guys recently fell into what everyone else got so used to doing in the late 90s and 2000s and even into the early 2010s, in that
Right.
you played and wrote what everyone liked. It didn't matter if you liked it. It didn't matter if you liked playing it. If that's what sold records and what got asses through the door, that's what you wrote.
It's like playing a game. It really is. It's not like what are our pieces here? What are the rules for this game? For each genre, and you want to make sure if you don't play the game right, you don't get to play the game. You know what I mean? That's the way it works. So and it's like that line of how far off the path can I tread and still be able to play this game with everybody. And eventually you just kind of lose sight. And I think that's what happened with us. Everybody's just like, okay, these guys they got foil hats on now. They're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, so here we are, it's 2 years later, and you guys are now writing with Cosmic Will. You're able to write what you want to write. You're having fun, which is what it's all about. Everyone I've spoken to recently and in recent years, all the bands kind of have gotten to that mentality of, whether they're on a label or not, they're writing what they want to write and what they enjoy writing, and it comes across to the fan base and to the listeners of whatever genre it may be. And I want to ask your guys' perspective, being that you were big with Nuclear Blast supporting you guys in whatever extent they did 2 years ago. Where do you see the industry has changed the most in the 2 years since Anti-Mortem and now Cosmic Will?
Honestly,
man, I can go ahead.
Oh, no, all right. Well, I was just going to say that there's just one of the main ways is one of the main ways in my opinion is that in the metal world I kind of feel like things have stayed pretty much the same in a sense, but that's pretty much what I expected them to do. And I think that's really, in the metal world, going to pretty much stay the same page for a while, man. There's just going to be the same, no offense to some of the bands that are making it, but there's going to be the same, repeat rinse of some of the bigger metal bands. And then there's going to be a little bit of the smaller ones trying to pop up and make the genre new. But I don't think that I think that a lot of the main music's going to be coming from more of the rock oriented world nowadays, because metal has already said so much. I feel like how much further can you kind of push some of metal than what already some of the bands have done it. And I feel like rock's been kind of ignored for a long time, and I bet that's what Nevada's about to talk about.
Well, no, that too, but I will say one thing I've noticed is the industry itself as a company or as a business has totally changed. There was a time whenever there were so many things you had to depend on a label or a booking agent or, some kind of third-party audio, video, or whatever, company to do things for you, or graphic video companies. And at this day and age, I can't tell you how easy it is for a band to put a record out online, to tour on themselves. I mean, you don't need labels. I mean, we're finding this, that when it comes to record sales for anybody, nobody is selling a damn record. Not anybody is. I mean, the record sales are at the all-time lowest they've ever been, and they just keep getting lower. And so I feel like what we're finding out is that a new type of career, a new whole front is here. That that if you can't get a part of and become with it, you're not going to move forward. The bands that have sat here and waited and then begged for and asked for people to do things for them, I don't think that day and age is still going to exist really much longer. Where you walk into the Rockstar building and you get your leather jacket and your model and your car, and then you walk out and you've got $1 million. It's just not like that anymore. I think that we're going to see
done for so long.
Yeah, we're going to see. I mean, I think the industry is a lot like the place it is where Bob Marley was at in the 60s and 70s when he was coming up, or, Chuck Berry, or just how you saw, like musicians were like, they played like Hendrix. He played the Chitlin circuit. He was a poor black musician that wasn't like, there was no money for anybody, but especially black people at that time. And I really think that like everybody today is in that same position. There are no well-off-to-do people anymore. We just have like a really bad lower middle class. And I think that if you're a musician, for you to sit here and wait for a label to sign you, for you to sit here and wait for anything, is just stupid. It's stupid because there's so many opportunities for you to take right now with so many different websites and services that, we're at a point now where we don't really know where or what we're going to do because of how many wonderful opportunities have come up into us. And when a label pigeonholes you in, takes your momentum, says we're going to sit here and keep you on the back burner for 6 months and negotiate your contract, I just feel like that day and age is over. And I feel like I feel like there's more opportunities for a band than there ever has been. And like for me, I feel like we're in the best spot we could be.
Yeah, you're going to find the best music nowadays out of the back of like somebody selling CDs out of their station wagon, compared to like I don't listen to the radio. Like who cares? Like I'm just saying, it's like there's so many bands that are just like it's overdone and dead, and people just keep doing it because like it's like we almost have killed rock and roll and metal, in my opinion. No offense to anybody making it. It's just that the thing is that we're all just so worried about freaking doing it right that nobody's willing to do some shit wrong every now and then and make something tasty. And that's the problem with everything, really. People are just worried about not getting their money from whoever's paying them to do it, and it's like, money's definitely a big part of it, but, it's about the music, and you can really tell. You'll find the best musicians nowadays, I'm sure, is what's going to happen in the next the next 10 years, I'm sure. And, I've actually seen something on a TV show where I think Joan Jett said the same thing, where, basically it's like, no matter what the label says, you're going to be finding some of the best musicians, selling their CDs out of the back of a station wagon, And actually, that's what Joan Jett did, now that I think about it.
Well, the interesting thing is, you look recently within the last year, and you've got artists that everyone considers major label. They went out and did fan funding for their new albums. Their new Rob Zombie album was fan funded. The new Megadeth album was fan funded. And the new Hell Yeah album is fan funded, just to name a few. And what I like about it, and maybe you guys give me your take on it, is it puts the ownership back into the hands of the listener. Instead of it being a label puts it out, a handful of your friends buy it and then make a copy of it and spread it around, or they listen to it and go, oh, it sucks, it's not like the last album, and then nobody buys it. The fan funding kind of gives you the opportunity, one, to be a part of it, two, to know that you were a part of it, and three, you're going to know right out of the gate, because you're getting early experiences, whether or not you're going to be happy with it, you're not going to be happy with it, but whether you are or you aren't, you've made that commitment, and you've showed your support for that band before it even hit.
Dude, I mean, completely. That's like, we're in a day and age basically where the chairman of the board or the board members are your fans. Like our last EP we put out, we got to record our EP with a Grammy-winning producer. We did it in a beautiful, huge studio, cut it live. I mean, couldn't have been a better experience that I could have ever asked for, and it was all funded by the people that want and show up to our shows, listen to our music, by the people that support us. And those people now, like we've got, we basically did, and we watched a lot of other bands do this and just kind of borrowed this idea from them. But we put together prizes, we put together ways to engage our audience, and from that, we've kind of created better friends. And I think that's the word. Is fans is the worst damn word that ever exists. I hate that word. It's just like, it's gross. It's got stuff dripping off of it. It's just not a good word. Like, those people are friends. Those are supporters. Those are people that love what you do and want to see you do better at it. And I think, and like Rado was saying before about the affirmation that an individual gets from this job. I think that, I think that this kind of.
Hello?
You there? I think we lost
Still there, Rado? I think we did.
We lost them.
System where you have,
you actually muted us. Hold on. What did you say?
Or you interfacing. I think. I'm here. Hello.
We lost you midway through your thought. We lost him again.
Did we lose him again?
We lost
Hello.
him.
Hello.
Ah, there you are.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys got me. Sorry, I don't know what happened.
You got so excited, I guarantee you started walking around and moving around and you lost the signal. And there he goes again.
Is he gone again? There he goes again. Is he gone? Is he going to join us? I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sitting in the same space. I'm not going nowhere.
Oh, there you are.
That's weird.
Wow.
Let me call back in. I'll call back in.
All right. See you. Yeah.
All right.
Well, no, hold on. Well, I mean, you're there. You're
Yeah.
there. Don't go.
Yeah, you're there.
Are you there?
No, I think he's going to call.
We lost him
Call
again.
back.
Well, that was going somewhere. He was on it. He was on it too, man.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
man.
he was kind of passionate about it.
Here he is. Hold on. Let's get him back in.
Sorry about that, man.
Alright, there we go. Got you back in, Larado and Larado Romo. See, we're at the mercy of technology. Oh, man.
But
The robots are taking over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I think I was saying something about just that. Like I said, we were lucky enough to be able. You were talking about band and crowdfunded releases, and I was just saying the fact that we got the opportunity to do something like that also, and it made us. It's for me. There's certain supporters that I didn't have a name for a face to that I do now. And that we're about to. I'm excited because we get to shoot a video here pretty quick as a group, thanking these people that helped us, fund the CP. And without them, there would no be Over Your Eyes by Cosmic Bull. It would not exist. It was because of those people that we have one.
Yeah.
I love the name of the EP too. I mean, Over Your Eyes.
Thank you.
The name of the band is.
That's Rado. That's all Rado.
Dude, that's like priceless.
That's what?
Priceless.
Oh, hey, thank you. Well, it's honestly, it's just it has a whole lot of different meanings to what it really means for, I'd say, all of our lives in the band, and what it means to the people that have, that are still listening to us, that heard us in the first place with Anti-Mortem. It's just the phrase really, the Cosmic Wool. Just I really feel like that's kind of a whole long other story. But the Over Your Eyes really was just kind of me. We were trying to hint at in a way of just being like, if you don't get what we're doing, it's like that's the point of this EP. Really, it's like I'm sure there's a lot of people that think we're crazy for doing what we did, and it's like that's kind of just what that's just, it is what it is, man. It's just like whatever we're doing, just kind of like if it's over your head, over your eyes, if you don't understand what we're talking about, then don't understand why we're
here. Go right past you. It's gonna go right
and
past
also that has a lot to do with what we're talking about in our songs as well. Is that the thing about Cosmic Wool that I have to say that we really, really got into, especially right when Anti-Mortem was ending, and we started to write for Cosmic Wool, was a lot of the things that kind of slip past your regular cognitive being, in a sense, and you don't really all these little things in life that slip through the crannies, I guess, the little nooks that we don't really pay attention to, and I guess really just what Cosmic Wool is more about than anything is just even having your eyes open to a lot of people is going right over their heads, and that's what that's kind of what the EP does, and really kind of addresses in a lot of ways, I say, with just the writing, at least lyric content wise, of Cosmic Wool. We do different things,
Yeah.
but I'd say this EP definitely has a lot of that towards it,
Yeah, I mean,
Agreed.
not only that, I mean, let's face it, people may have their eyes open, but nowadays too many people are buried in their smartphone to even see what's going on in front of them. So even that whole idea right there fits right into what you guys are doing. And you brought up about the fans that are still listening. How much of the old Anti-Mortem fan base has followed over to Cosmic World? Have you heard from anybody that was really into what you guys were
Oh,
doing
yeah.
that followed over? And what's
Definitely.
what's the feedback?
The whole state of Wisconsin, dude. The whole state of Wisconsin. The whole state.
Yeah, and then honestly, quite a bit of Minnesota, quite a bit of Oklahoma, and quite a bit of other people scattered just throughout the places. We still get
Michigan.
messages from people in Switzerland and people in England being like, "Hey, man,
New York.
so,
Yeah.
like, why'd you break up?" But you know what? Even though I still never got to see you, you're still cool, and I'm glad you're making a new band. And I heard Scott's cool, and it's cool, and I subscribe to you. Stuff like that, where it's like, man, it's like some days you'll go like a week and you're like, dude, I wish somebody from England would message me and tell me that I'm worth something. And or something like that, and then the message never comes or whatever. But there's been a lot of support, man. It really has. It has definitely. I'm pretty surprised with how many people are actually really cool with us. I guess changing.
Yeah, there's been. I mean, I really didn't expect for us to. There was a lot of little moves that happened really quick out the gate for us that I didn't expect to happen, and just the support of some of these regions that we, I mean, I'll be honest, we've got the opportunity to do 3 or 4 Midwest tours since we came out with the band in 2000. Or actually, it was the first tour. I think was in 2015, in September. So we've only. I mean, that was the first time we started doing any kind of regional touring. And we've gotten the chance to go back to some really cool areas that were basically had that there was a demand for us to go back for it, and so that's been really refreshing to see that that a lot of people have been on board with us on this and have moved forward with us. And I mean, there's some people that I've seen at more of our Cosmic Pool shows than I ever did any Anti-Mortem shows, and there's a story being created here, and it's wonderful. I'm really enjoying what's going on right now.
I mean, that's just great. I mean, I love hearing that because as I said when we first got on the line, to discuss everything, there are often times where the band blows up for whatever reason, and it doesn't matter what follows, that transition never happens. And for that transition and support to be happening for you guys, and you guys to be hearing from people that never got to see Anti-Mortem live, and I am unfortunately one of those people. It speaks volumes not just to the musicians that you are, but also the individuals that you are, because that means people care about you guys and they know you care about them, and that's really what the whole rock and metal community was about from day one.
Oh, dude, completely, man. I mean, there's a promoter that we work with a lot out of Wisconsin that it's this dude's got, and he's also the head of a label. And it's this guy's his story is our story. You know what I mean? Or your story, dude. I mean, just all these people we work with. That's what this is about. Is about that the connection you make with these people. And I think in years to come, the stories that you have and that people get are really what creates those awesome tight knit scenes, that sometimes they happen in regions, sometimes they happen all across America, and to be a part of anything like that is just always wonderful.
Yeah. One thing I got to add to that too about the connection with people is I got to say is that not just inside the industry connection wise, and I really have to say is just before we were even musicians, looking at the reason why you like rock and roll so much is because it seems like those guys making rock and roll are the realest people that you're going to meet, and so that's something that I feel like a lot of people once they get there for one thing and they start to forget about, that they were a little kid once that just wanted to feel accepted, and there was some, basically, I guess, grown men and grown women that were doing stuff that's far out that's not acceptable, and that people weren't accepting because they said to just, deal with it. I'm not killing anybody. I'm just killing myself. And I feel like that's really what all of rock's about. And that's why as long, I don't know. I just think that's why rock and roll will always be around for one thing. That connection right there that people feel with each other. You're kind of passing it back and forth, and so it's like your responsibility, I would say, if you're making rock music.
And I think that transcends genres too. It's like the metal community is such a supportive community. I mean, like such a close knit, really tight community. Like you really couldn't find like a better place to hang out. And it's the same with rock bands and stuff, or like if you go to like I remember we opened for Tech Nine when we were playing San Diego or San Francisco, and or Aftershock in Sacramento, that's what it was. But dude, there was so many different types of people out in that crowd, like watching Tech Nine. But it was music brought people together, and if you can't like stick by that, it's like, what are you doing this for? You know what I mean? If you can't be a part of everybody's awesome story and be there and support everybody, then it's really not a thing for you. I don't feel, because that doesn't make this industry any better to have people that are that just can't get into everybody else's stuff. I like that. I like being able to support other people. It makes me really happy to see them do well.
Right, and you see more and more of it now with the music festivals that are happening and some of the tours that maybe a few years ago you wouldn't have thought of. I mean, let's be honest, last summer, Marilyn Manson and Smashing Pumpkins going out together was not something anybody would have ever expected, and we're finally...
Totally, yeah. That's true. It's true. It's funny, though, how as music continues to grow, you start to really see the similarities between certain people you didn't see before, like you were saying in the first place. Now I'm thinking about it, which you brought up, earlier. But really. So,
I mean, look at the clock. I mean, we've been going for a while. I know you guys are very busy with everything you guys got going on with Cosmic and Woe, and I don't want to tie you guys up too much longer. What's the next move for you guys? I know the EP, the 3 songs are out there on iTunes. The EP is out there. What does everyone got to look forward to coming into the rest of 2016 with Cosmic Woe?
We're in the process right now of writing and recording new music, and so we're in the process of planning some new touring, some new regional touring, some new releases coming out, and with us, we're the type of people, like, if we put something out, like, we have to document it. So I mean, like, there'll be all kinds of content following that. It's just, we're at this point now where we just put out an awesome release. We've got to do some touring on it, got to play some really freaking cool shows and open for some great people. And so I think we're at a point now where it's, we're kind of re-looking at our strengths again here, heading into the studio, and trying to really size up what's going to be our strengths here to move forward with for this next release. And so we're hoping to have that one out, I'm thinking, by the fall sometime. So if you're looking for something from us, it will be out soon, we promise.
Very, very cool. Guys, I was sorry to see Anti-Mortem go, but hearing what you guys have got going on now and hearing the tunes from Cosmic Woe, you know what, you guys without a doubt made the right move and are in the right direction right now going forward with Cosmic Woe. Everyone, all 3 songs are available on iTunes, and I mean, I love all 3. So I gotta ask you guys, Nevada, Larado, what song of the 3 should I play here inside the Asylum for everyone to hear?
What do you think, Rado?
Man, I'm thinking we should go ahead and, you think we should play Moonstone?
Yeah, you gotta crank Moonstone, man. That's our rocker. That's the one that we like to move people around with that song.
Any backstory or anything interesting about that one that you guys want to share?
Well, Rado wrote the lyrics to that one.
Oh, well, of course. No, I'm kidding. That wrote the music to it. That wrote the music to it. But no, really something interesting about that song to me is, as it's just the whole song in general. It's got a really, really heavy groove, but at the same time, it's like quiet. I don't know. It's cool. It's like, so just that I gotta really say that encompasses the whole EP. Really, it's got a really. We're trying to work on being able to be
whisper to a thunder.
Yeah, pretty much. There you go. Whisper to a thunder. So yeah, check it out, Moonstone. Let it whisper to your thunders.
Yeah.
Awesome. Again, Larado Romo, Larado Romo, thank you guys for joining us here inside the asylum.
Dude, thank you for having us on Bullspike, man. We really
sure.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Anytime, guys, you know that. Anytime you guys want to come on and talk about whatever you got going on, you know I am a phone call or text message away. Don't ever hesitate to contact me. Right now, Rocco's brand new music from Cosmic Wall. This is Moonstone.